about, cutting through the noise and getting straight to what really counts.
Mm-hmm.
And today, wow, we are unlocking one of the most, I think, truly transformative personal development blueprints ever. Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
It really is foundational, isn't it? And our mission here, well, it isn't just about listing off some quick tips or, surface-level hacks.
No, definitely not.
We're here to explore this really profound framework. It's designed to help facilitate change, but from the inside out, helping you build core character, align yourself with timeless principles.
And ultimately lead a life that feels genuinely meaningful and impactful. That's the goal for you, the listener.
Absolutely. And Covey's core message is, it's so simple on the surface, but it's incredibly powerful.
What is it?
Effectiveness isn't something you chase after. It's something you become.
I like that. It's something you become. So this isn't just theory we're talking about today.
Not at all.
This is really a roadmap. We want to dive into how it can transform the way you think, the way you act, how you interact with the world, moving beyond just the ideas into, well, practical application.
Okay, so where do we start? The foundation Covey lays out is what he calls the paradigm shift.
Paradigms.
Yeah.
Right. Explain that a bit.
Think of them as like the lenses you wear. They're how you see the world, all your underlying assumptions, your beliefs, your attitudes.
Okay.
And what's really revolutionary here, and maybe what a lot of other self-help stuff misses, is Covey isn't just saying change your thoughts. He's saying change the filter itself.
The filter. Like updating your whole operating system, not just getting a new app.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. It's fundamental.
That is a crucial distinction. And he champions this inside-out method, which basically says real, lasting change. It doesn't come from just fiddling around on the surface, changing what you do.
Right. It comes from shifting how you fundamentally see things, your perspective.
So if you want better relationships, better results at work, whatever, it all starts with you.
Yeah.
You have to become better first.
It's such a simple insight, isn't it? But it kind of flips the script. It forces you to look inward first, rather than always searching for external fixes or blaming external factors.
It really does.
And once you get that, the first 3 habits, what Covey calls the private victory, they just make perfect sense.
The private victory. So this is about you personally.
Yeah, exactly. Building your personal foundation, achieving that self-mastery, moving towards independence. These are really the prerequisites before you can effectively work with others.
Okay, so building on that idea of owning our perspective, habit 1 is be proactive. What's the core of that one?
Personal responsibility. Straight up, Covey really stresses that you are not just a product of your circumstances.
You're not a victim.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
don't have to just react automatically, emotionally to everything that happens. We actually have this incredible power, this space to choose our response.
That is powerful. So proactive people,
Yeah.
they're not blaming the weather or their boss or whatever.
No, they take ownership for their actions, their thoughts, even their feelings. And crucially, they focus their energy on their circle of influence.
Ah, yes, the circle of influence. So the things you can actually control.
Precisely. Rather than getting bogged down in the circle of concern, all the things you worry about but can't really change.
That's a big mental shift right there.
Yeah.
It's moving from I have to do this.
To I choose to, yeah.
And it really challenges you, doesn't it, to ask yourself, okay, am I just reacting out of habit here? Or am I consciously choosing how I act right now?
That's the question. And once you've grasped that power of choice in habit 1, the next logical step, Covey's habit 2, is figuring out, well, what are you choosing towards?
Right. What's the destination?
Exactly. Begin with the end in mind. This is all about vision, intentional living.
And he had that exercise, the maybe slightly morbid one.
Yes, the funeral exercise. It's powerful, though. Imagine your own funeral. What do you want people to say? What legacy do you want to leave?
Wow. Yeah, that definitely snaps you out of the day-to-day distractions, doesn't it?
It really does. It forces you to define your true north, those principles that genuinely matter to you deep down.
So you live intentionally, not just drifting. Because let's face it, if you don't decide what matters...
The world will decide for you, quickly.
Yeah. And Covey suggests writing a personal mission statement as a tool.
Yes, exactly. Like a personal constitution, a compass to guide you through all the noise and distractions of modern life. It keeps you centered.
Okay, so you're proactive, habit 1. You know where you're going, habit 2. What's next?
Habit 3, put first things first. This is where the rubber meets the road, where that vision meets actual execution.
Time management, right. But maybe not how we usually think of it.
Exactly. It's effective management, but it's not just about stuffing your calendar. This is where he brings in that famous four-quadrant matrix.
Ah, the matrix. Okay, refresh our memory.
So, quadrant 1, urgent and important. These are your crises, your deadlines, stuff you have to deal with now.
Got it. Firefighting mode.
Pretty much. Then quadrant 3 is urgent, but not important. Think interruptions, some meetings, maybe other people's minor issues.
The stuff that feels pressing but doesn't really move your own needle.
Exactly. Quadrant 4 is not urgent and not important. Pure time wasters. Mindless scrolling, busy work that achieves nothing.
We all know quadrant 4.
Ha! Yes, we do.
Right.
But the magic, the place highly effective people live, is quadrant 2.
Quadrant 2. That's not urgent but important.
Yes. This is where the real leverage is. Planning, relationship building, exercise, learning, preparation, prevention, all the stuff that builds long-term capability and avoids future crises.
So the key is spending time there proactively before things blow up and become quadrant 1.
Precisely. It requires discipline. It means saying no sometimes, even to good things, so you can say yes to the truly great things, the quadrant 2 things.
It's about being aligned with your mission, not just being busy.
That's it. So you have to ask yourself, are you just filling your calendar, ticking boxes? Or are you actually filling your life with purpose, focusing on quadrant 2?
Okay, so habits 1, 2, and 3. That's the private victory. You're building that internal foundation, proactive, purposeful, disciplined.
You're moving from dependence to independence, self-mastery.
But Covey's point is, that's not the end game, right?
Yeah,
True effectiveness involves others.
absolutely. That's the shift to the public victory, moving from independence to interdependence.
Yeah.
How you interact, collaborate, lead.
Which brings us to habit 4.
Think win-win. This immediately takes us into our relationships and interactions.
And the core idea here is,
Life isn't a zero-sum game, or at least it shouldn't be treated that way. One person winning doesn't require another person to lose.
right, true success involves mutual benefit.
It's rooted in what Covey calls an abundance mindset, believing there's enough success, enough credit, enough opportunity, enough love to go around.
Which sounds lovely, but putting it into practice.
It takes a balance. Covey says it requires both courage, standing up for your own needs, and perspective and consideration, really listening and understanding the other person's needs and perspective.
Courage and consideration. Okay, so the goal isn't just compromise, where everyone kind of loses something.
No, the goal is collaboration. Finding a third alternative, often where both sides genuinely gain more than they would have alone.
That really makes you think about your own interactions. In your relationships, are you competing, trying to win, or are you truly looking for that win-win?
It's a powerful question, and it leads perfectly into what might be the hardest habit for many of us.
Which one?
Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Ah, yes. This one feels deeply countercultural sometimes.
It really is. Covey points out most people don't listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply.
Guilty is charged sometimes.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for them to take a breath so you can jump in with your point.
Yeah. We all do it. But Covey talks about empathetic listening, really being present, trying to see the world through their eyes, without judging, without interrupting with your own story or advice.
Yeah.
Just understanding.
And the impact of that.
It's huge. When people feel truly, genuinely heard, trust just skyrockets. Defensiveness drops. And often, solutions kind of emerge naturally from that shared understanding.
Only after you've really understood them, then you share your perspective.
Exactly. Then you seek to be understood. The order is critical.
So here's a challenge for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Next conversation you have, maybe try just listening. Don't fix, don't advise, don't one-up. Just focus on understanding, see what happens.
It can be transformative. And when you combine that deep understanding from habit 5 with the win-win approach of habit 4,
You get habit 6. Synergize.
yes. Synergy, this is that magic, that creative spark that happens when different perspectives come together.
Where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Like 1 + 1 = 3 or 10 or 100.
Exactly. It's not just cooperation, it's creative collaboration. Synergy actually thrives on differences. It embraces diverse strengths, ideas, viewpoints.
And turns that potential tension between different views into something new, something innovative that nobody could have come up with alone.
Right. But it requires certain conditions, doesn't it?
Like what?
Openness, definitely trust, which you built with habit 5, and humility, being willing to accept that you don't have all the answers, that others have valuable insights.
So the key takeaway isn't just to tolerate differences.
No, it's to value them, to actively seek them out. That's where the real growth and the breakthrough solutions are found.
Okay, wow. So private victory, Habits 1-3, public victory. Habits 4-6. What's left?
The habit that makes all the others sustainable. Habit 7, sharpen the saw.
Renewal. Continuous improvement.
Exactly. This is the crucial reminder that, well, you're not a machine. You can't just keep going and going without maintenance.
To stay effective, to avoid burnout, you absolutely have to renew yourself regularly.
Covey uses that great analogy, right? The woodcutter who's sawing away furiously,
But the saw is getting duller and duller. Someone suggests stopping to sharpen it.
and the woodcutter says, I can't stop. I'm too busy sawing.
Which is crazy because sharpening the saw would actually make them more productive in the long run.
Precisely. And in today's world, with this always-on hustle culture...
Burnout is everywhere.
Right. So sharpening the saw isn't just nice to have, it's essential. It's almost a radical act of self-preservation and long-term effectiveness.
And Covey breaks it down into 4 areas, doesn't he?
He does. 4 key dimensions of renewal. First, physical. Exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress management, taking care of your body.
Makes sense. What else?
Mental. Learning, reading, writing, thinking critically, planning. Keeping your mind sharp and engaged.
Okay. Third.
Emotional, or sometimes called social emotional. This is about connecting with people, building relationships, empathy, service, nurturing your heart.
And the 4th.
Spiritual. This isn't necessarily religious, though it can be. It's about connecting to your core values, finding meaning and purpose. Through things like meditation, spending time in nature, prayer, reflection, aligning with your true north from habit 2.
Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual.
Yeah.
It's holistic.
Completely. And the crucial point Covey makes is that taking time for renewal isn't selfish. It's absolutely necessary. It's what fuels your ability to practice all the other habits.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. You have to fill yours first to have anything to give.
What an incredible framework. When you see all 7 together, it's not just a random list, is it?
Not at all. It's a comprehensive, integrated approach to life, built on these timeless principles: responsibility, fairness, respect, growth, contribution.
And there's a clear progression. You start inward, with yourself becoming proactive, finding your purpose, managing yourself effectively.
The private victory. Then you move outward, building strong win-win relationships, listening deeply, collaborating synergistically.
The public victory. And underpinning it all is that continuous renewal, sharpening the saw to keep growing and contributing.
And remember, Covey always emphasized this is about progress, not perfection. Nobody masters these overnight.
Right. Each habit is a choice. Something you can choose to practice day by day, little by little.
And those small choices add up.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe it's time for a little self-reflection for you, the listener, thinking about these habits.
Ask yourself, are you living reactively most of the time? Or are you consciously choosing to be proactive?
Do you have a clear sense of your end in mind? Who you want to be, what legacy you hope to leave?
Are you spending your precious time on what truly matters, on quadrant 2 activities, or are you mostly caught up in the urgent?
When you deal with others, is your default mode competition? Or are you genuinely seeking win-win outcomes?
Are you really listening to understand people, or just reloading for your turn to speak?
Do you see differences in others as threats, or as opportunities for synergy and growth?
And maybe most fundamentally, are you consistently taking care of yourself? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, are you sharpening your saw?
It's a lot to think about.
It is. But remember that final provocative thought. Small disciplines, repeated consistently over time, create massive change.
So the invitation isn't just to study these habits, it's to start living them, to embody them, even imperfectly.
Because in doing that, you won't just become more effective in your work, your relationships, your life, you'll almost certainly become more fulfilled too.